Once upon a time, there was a little company called the Oak and Rope Company. They started to make things out of oak and rope, of course, and wanted to go to the market to sell their things. They went to the biggest and best place for these things. It's called Spirit of Christmas at Olympia in London. When they were at the big market in town, they met lots of lovely customers who loved their designs. They were very busy, but at the end of every day, there was always time to speak with other people exhibiting their creations. One of the first neighbours they got to know was Karina Hildebrand. She knew a lot about how these things worked, and she was very helpful. They had such a good experience, so this became an annual event for them. Over the years, they made lots of friends. Every year, they met up with Karina. She made beautiful clothes in alpaca wool and had her own factory in Peru, and travelled all over the world. Every year, she came back and took the little Oak and Rope Company on her adventures and the wonderful places she could visit. After a while, Oak and Rope finally picked up the courage to ask if she could come with her when she next went to America. She was so happy to bring them along. She talked to her friends and arranged for the Oak and Rope Company to go to a lot of glamorous places where she thought they needed swings and things. One of those places were the Hampton Classics. The Oak and Rope Company was welcomed with open arms and friendly faces. Whilst they were in the Hamptons, they met a shepherd called Franny. Franny had a stall right next to the Oak and Rope Company, and whenever they had a moment, they shared stories and jokes and got to know each other. Franny was from a place called Middleburg in Virginia. She had a lovely shop close to her sheep where she sold all her beautiful design clothes when she wasn't travelling around to other shows. Every Christmas season, she had a special event where she invited all her friends to come to her shop. She asked if the Oak and Rope Company would like to visit her there. She was a little bit surprised when they said yes, but she was very happy. So, a few months later, they met again in one of the most beautiful villages in America. People came from far away, from Washington, D.C. to Richmond, to meet Franny's new friends. They all wanted swings for their gardens. The Oak and Rope Company met a couple they met in the Hamptons who recently got engaged to be married, where a boy had proposed using one of their butter dishes. But that's a story for another day. As you can imagine, the Oak and Rope Company had so much fun, and when Franny suggested that maybe they should travel to Nashville next, they knew that to listen to her. Besides, the Oak and Rope Company had always wanted to go to Nashville. A few months later, they were on a special show with lots of beautiful antiques and lots of new people. On the first evening, two ladies came to their stall and started asking questions about the swings. This was one of the Oak and Rope Company's favourite things to talk about. The ladies were listening to the stories they had to tell about all the marvellous swings they had made kings, queens, princes and princesses all over the world. They had a lovely time. The next day, the lovely ladies came back to the store with some more friends because they wanted them to hear the lovely stories too. It turned out that all these ladies were not just ordinary visitors of the fair. They were in fact the organisers of a very different type of event in a place called Omaha. They loved the swings and the stories so much they couldn't stop thinking about it. When they went home, they saw places where they wanted to swing, hang swings everywhere. So they came up with a clever plan. If they could get the little Oak and Rope Company to come and visit them, they could make all the people of Omaha and all the people who visit the Lauriston Gardens in their town very happy. They sent an email to England and explained their plan. The Oak and Rope Company liked it and said yes. This is, of course, not the end, but simply another beginning.